All right, guys, welcome back to the Rick Shiels Golf Show podcast, episode 256. I'm your host, Rick Shiels. I'm here with co-host Guy. I'm going to start things off. I did a good deed this weekend and got punished.
Wow.
I know.
Well, let me have a think what it might have been.
I don't think you'll ever guess.
Helped an old lady across the road. As you were doing so, she said, "Oh, wait a minute, are you Rick Shiels?" You said, "Yes." She went, "Your videos are pathetic. Grow up."
That happens on the daily. Now that I've come off social media, people now attack me in the street.
Well, yeah. How else did they get to you?
They've made it a priority. No, listen. So we had friends round this weekend. Okay, they're actually over from Dubai. Yep. We had friends round, and it was lovely. We had a lovely, lovely weekend. And on Saturday night, they were at ours, and they were staying at a little Airbnb just down the road. I said, you know what? It's late. Let me take you and your family home, okay, in my fancy new Mercedes-Benz. I wanted to show off a little bit, granted. Let's jump in and we'll drive down the road, and that 15, 20-minute walk, I'll do in 2 minutes, okay? They jump in, and the kids are loving the car, and this, that. Very nice, right? This was after the England game, after we won. So I was on a high, so high. Drive down to the Airbnb, drop them off, and do a little U-turn and drive home, and everything's happy. I was like, yeah, you know what? I've done a really good deed there. Woke up the next day with a nail in my tyre.
Wow.
I had, in that short, tiny little trip while doing a good deed, I have now got a horrendous puncture.
That is. I'm interested that how that's your class of a good deed. Just giving your friends a lift down the road. I thought, I wonder what he's done here. What, as some little kid said, Rick, I'm a massive fan. You caddy for me in a junior comp. You go, you know what? I'll give up my weekend to caddy for you, little Jimmy. But no, you gave your friends a lift of 2 minutes down the road in your Mercedes-Benz.
A grand total of 5 minutes, but I saved them 30 minutes.
Does that mean you were the designated driver all weekend?
I have drank this weekend.
Yeah.
I'm Rick Shiels, and I did have a drink, but only one night.
Oh, fair dues.
So I went to a festival.
Was it a crazy night, or was it?
No. So for majority of the night, I actually drank 0% alcohol, and no one even noticed.
Wow. Just loads of ecstasy tablets.
I say that on the podcast.
I can't. It's a joke. It's a joke. It's a joke.
There's a bloody fly in the podcast studio. This fly's been...
It's been everywhere. What if
it's because I smell?
Yeah, not showered off from this festival all weekend.
So yeah, I went to a festival. Ended up needing. You know what? I must admit, it was the first time I'd not drank for like 6 weeks. But I was like, I do actually feel like I need a drink right now to just loosen my arms a little bit. You know, get the dance moves going.
We'll have to in between us, and you
get the old dancing moves going. But yeah, apart from that, it was a wonderful weekend. Well, it was a wonderful weekend. I'll be honest. I actually genuinely tuned out of the golf world this weekend. Right. And I don't think it was a bad weekend to do so. No. With a lot of big golf tournaments coming up over the next few weeks, this week felt a bit like,
yeah, a bit of a...
And no disrespect, the John Deere Classic was on, and the BMW Invitational in Munich was on.
Which is a big... That's the thing, that's quite a decent-sized event on the DP World Tour, but that doesn't feel like substantial anymore, does it?
No, and it's a shit like you and Ferguson won it. But I honestly totally zoned out. I was busy, granted. England were playing. I had a lot of
You're a football fan again?
Huge football fan.
Correct.
How good were the penalties?
Yeah. Penalties in football, I think, is the absolute top level of sporting excitement. I just don't think it can be beaten. I don't think it can.
You cannot take your eyes off it.
Or what if you did it in golf, where there's no longer playoff holes, but there's a putting comp. So say me and you are on the DP World Tour, which isn't too far of a stretch, and we've both shot 25 under par for the week. And instead of going down 18 again, we go on to 18 and we start with a 3-foot putt each. We both box it. We move back to 4 foot. We both box it. 5 foot. Your arse goes. You miss it. I hold it. I win.
I think that's... There you go. There's something incredibly cruel and unfair with penalty shootouts. But also, you have to decide a game at some point.
Yeah, exactly. You can't go on forever, can
I wouldn't be saying that if England had lost. No. I'd be saying it's wrong and everything needs to change. But considering that England finally won a penalty shootout against Switzerland and we scored all 5, gave me huge hope that it's coming home.
Well, you know what? You're right. And we've got a massive, massive game, obviously, on Wednesday. in the semi-final, which is England versus the Netherlands. And kind of coinciding with that on Thursday, this year when the golf season heats up again, because the Scottish Open, and obviously the following week we've got the Open. So what a couple of weeks of sport that is?
It's honestly, I think there's so much going on. And then you even had didn't even realise, I was supposed to be going to it. I had conversations early in the year to be going to Silverstone for the F1. They never materialised. I ended up not going. But that would have been an unbelievable weekend. I tell you what, just coinciding before we stop with the football chat, did you see the video that England released last night?
Yeah, they were playing golf and Ian Poulter was there and Sam Horsfield, friends of the channel.
From Majestics. Oh, they've both been on the channel,
correct. Yeah. And there was some funky golf swings, but they were at least trying.
I was glued to that video.
Were you hoping they mentioned you at some point?
A little bit, yeah. I'll be honest with you, of course I was. Because I know Declan Rice definitely watches the channel. Aaron Ramsdale, I feel like, watches.
Possibly. Harry Kane will have dipped in and out.
Of course he would have done. And I felt like, one of them would have gone, "Oh, Poulter, I didn't know you before," coming on Rick Shiels' channel. But yeah, I was fascinated. And it just shows the competitiveness of sports people. Like, I loved it when they were getting frustrated and really wanted to do it, but found it challenging. And to some degree, it was like, yeah, because that is... Anyone can kick a football. Yeah. Let's be honest. Anyone can score a penalty in a quarter final for your country.
Of course they can. It's open net.
It's not that hard. But to hit a golf shot and do it nearest the pin, I think they were doing nearest the pins from 100 yards. Like the leading score was like 15 feet.
Golf is one of those sports where it's not uncommon for somebody with natural sporting ability, like a footballer, to pick it up and get decent within a year or 2 years and have maybe even a single figure handicap. But it's one of those sports that even if you are the most gifted athlete, it's very rare that you pick up a golf club straight away and can actually hit it properly. You did see some of the guys and they were holding it cack-handed and not holding it correctly. They might hit the odd one where they at least make contact, but as a rule, it does almost humble everybody, doesn't it? And even great golfers, as we know, even Ian Poulter's probably the perfect example, can hit the odd shank every now and again. And it's like, it is the sport, and I think that's why we all love it so much, that you can never conquer.
But watching Jude Bellingham, who by all means has succeeded in everything that I've ever seen him do. I mean, he's just the coolest character. He slotted home his penalty. To be stood there and he literally hit the rope, the driving range rope that was behind his golf ball, and like tripped over the pyramid of golf balls. And I was like, yeah, you know what?
Welcome to my world, Jude.
Golf's hard to make look cool, isn't it?
It is. And it's funny actually, because I'll come on to this in a minute. I played golf on Friday with Neil, who works with us, who's not really a golfer. He won't mind me saying, he's only got into it relatively recently. But he's not a bad footballer. And we've played obviously five-a-side, and I'll hold my hands up. I'm horrendous at football. Not great at golf, but better at golf than I'm at football. And when I step onto a football pitch, I feel like everything I do looks rubbish. The way I would even carry my boots on, the way I would put the bib on, the way I would do anything, it just looks like I don't know what I'm doing, which is the case. Whereas people who are good at football, or at least decent, the way they carry themselves just looks so different. Yeah. And it's funny because that transfers into golf. So I was obviously I've played golf all my life that I can remember. Again, I might not be great at it, but I know how to play the game, where to stand, how to do things. You play with someone that's new to the game, and I'm not judging them, by the way, because this all comes with time. But the way they do stuff, it just looks like you can just tell. Even putting a tee into the ground and they'll hold the club in a weird way, it just isn't smooth, is it?
No, not at all.
It comes with time.
Well, did you see the video? Did we speak about this? The Justin Rose video with Sky Sports?
I don't know if we did on podcast.
So it was a unique style of video, but I think it was always inevitable he was going to be able to choose who was the pro. So basically, it was 5 golfers. One of them was a professional. 4 of them were amateurs, and basically they gave Justin Rose the task of eliminating the non-golfer until he could choose the real golfer. In the first second,
you can tell
of someone standing on the tee, you can just tell, couldn't you? Like the way they put the tee in the ground, or the way even the glove is either already on or it was in the back pocket. It's just all telltale sign, isn't it?
Yeah.
But yeah, no, it was a action-packed week of sport. I felt like I was going to come on to something else then. What was it?
Why you're thinking, unless it comes to you right now, I've got a confession to make. One firstly to you that you don't know about yet, and also one to the wider public of something I got wrong. So on Friday I played golf, and I'll come on to that in a moment. But I took a club out the storage room to try. And
can I guess?
Yeah.
What would you have taken out the storage room to try? I don't think it would have been a driver.
Okay. I'm not saying anything. You've got a...
Wow. That surprised me already. Now, I had the Callaway mini driver, so it couldn't have been that. I had it in my boot. Would it have been a putter? A putter would have surprised me.
Colder.
Oh, gee. A driver?
You almost boiling hot a minute ago.
I'm going to go driver then.
You were almost boiling hot a minute ago, though.
Oh, putter?
No, go back to what you had in the car.
Mini driver?
I couldn't have took the Callaway, could I?
So you took the TaylorMade?
You're correct. I wanted to give this mini driver a try, the Callaway one, and I looked and it had gone. I remembered you taking it. So I looked at the TaylorMade one and thought, you know what? For just a one-off and playing golf, obviously not on camera, I've never really tried one other than the simulator. And I've always poo-pooed mini drivers, said I don't get them, I hate them, but borderline hate them. Wow. My mind's changed. And let me explain to you, Rick, why. So I played golf at the London Club in a golf day on Friday with Manners Golf, who like a cool golf brand, apparel brand, etc. And I'll come on to the round of golf in a moment because it was very, very fun. However, this mini driver has maybe changed my life. Wow. Let me sell it to you, Rick. Let me sell it to you. It's not a mini driver. Mini drivers are not small drivers. They are big 3-woods.
Do you think they've marketed it wrong?
Correct. So I took it as a one-off. Took my own 3-wood out the bag and put this in the bag. I thought, you know what? I'm not going to start off it. I'm going to hit my own driver. Par 5 to start. We started on hole 18. It was a par 5 and actually crushed my driver. So I was dead happy. Got there. It was a par 5 now because it was Texas Scramble. Obviously, you had the luxury of other people hitting shots first and put money into play, etc. Had about 250 left in. Hit this mini driver off the deck. Looks a bit big behind the ball. Looks a little bit, can I get this up in the air? But you have to trust that you can. Rick's chair's just fell on him.
Carry on.
Hit this mini driver off the deck and absolutely smoked it. Like, seriously smoked it.
Just a quick one. Matt, a task for this week. Can we order new chairs, please, for the podcast?
Yeah. And this mini driver honestly came off the face like a driver would, but yeah, it was like a 3-wood to hit. And then hit it about 6 times throughout the round. Once off a tee, thinned it a bit, but it went out there. And then about 4 or 5 other times on the I think there was 5 par 5. So again, I was going for the green. On one hole, we were 260 away. I honestly hit this mini driver to 6 foot away, and we tapped it in for an eagle. And it massively changed my perspective. So what I thought to myself was, when would I use this club? Maybe I won't all the time, but I would never use it, I don't think, instead of my driver, because your driver is obviously 460cc head. It's more forgiving. It should be easy to hit. However, occasionally, not very often, but occasionally there are times where 3-wood is to play off a tee, isn't it? Because it's like, well, driver might go too long or the fairway's fatter where your 3-wood would go, etc. But you're hitting 3-wood. When you think about 3-wood, they are quite small heads. And you sometimes look at it going, it feels quite nerve-wracking to hit this. A mini driver, however, is obviously so much bigger. It's like, this feels like a forgiveness of a driver, but still obviously that's a bit smaller. And then off the deck, honestly, it absolutely flies.
I'm gonna question the one thing.
Go on.
Seriously though, if you weren't playing Texas Scramble, would you have gone for that many times with a 3-wood off the deck into par 5s?
Well, that's the question.
So I know your game enough. I don't think you would have done.
I probably wouldn't. There's one where we had this over water and I hit a 3-iron and it honestly crushed it and it went short, went into the water. So I said, let me hit another one just to practice. It doesn't count for this, obviously. Put it down. A bit of a nice lie, admittedly, but put it down, it's light rough. Hit this mini drive and put it like 20 foot over this water. It was unreal. So you're right, maybe I wouldn't have hit it as much. But I think you have to trust it when you put it behind the ball that it will get up in the air. You can take a little divot with it. But I was very much impressed. I really was impressed.
To the extent where you would take your 3-wood out?
For the short term, yeah. I don't know if I'd want it. It's one of those clubs, though, having said all that, I kind of counter myself a little bit now. I feel like if you had one bad round with it, you could lose all trust. You could. Off the deck, you'd be like, what the heck? It's too big. It's hard to hit. But I can only go off what I've tried so far. And as I said, don't see it as a mini driver, see it as a big 3-wood, which some brands do actually do, like bigger plus 3-woods or whatever. But yeah, it was interesting.
I suppose, going back to the marketing, have they marketed it wrong? It's a big 3-wood, just not sexy, is it?
No, nowhere near as sexy.
Like, imagine if they said, we brought out a big 3-wood, I was like, whatever.
Yeah.
But a mini driver.
Oh, it's...
Oof.
Yeah.
I was very impressed with the Callaway one. I wasn't. And that's why, borderline, it was in the back of my car. Not that I'm particularly looking to put it in play at the moment. Where I would see huge value, let's say you go and play. I play a real mixture of golf courses, as you do and as we do on the channel. Sometimes they're 7,200 yards.
Yeah.
And a driver is absolutely necessary. No questions asked. But there's also courses that you think, you know what? This is a little fiddly one today. It's a little 6,500 yarder. And it's tree lined and it's tight. And driver's not the play.
Yeah.
You know, when we filmed at Pastures a few times.
Yeah, yeah.
I've actually never played there, but I'm on remember, but never played there. I wouldn't hit driver ever there, but mini 3-wood, potentially.
Big 3-wood, mini driver.
Yeah, big driver, mini driver, big 3-wood.
Well, that's it. And like I said, it felt like a little bit that I had more options in the bag. Even though I took 3-wood out for that, it's obviously a straight swap. It felt like I still had a 3-wood off the deck, albeit it probably went a little bit further, but not loads. But then it felt like if I did hit it off a tee, which I did once, I hit one really thin, but it still motored out. It was interesting.
What about if you set it into like a 4-wood loft?
Yeah, could work. I got it at 13.5 on the weight in the back.
That, isn't it? Because if you did it at like 15 degrees,
it's definitely
15.5 degrees, 16 degrees even. Because of the size, I think it'll go further than a 3-wood. But you've got that little bit of versatility. Like you could chop one up and hit a high one into a par 5.
I think it's a club that, honestly, after my little brief experience, it might be a short love affair, I might hate it, but I think more higher handicappers for sure should have a look at them. But I said, see it as a big 3-wood and keep your driver in the bag.
Did I dream something recently? And it might be a press release that we received that might be still under embargo, that a brand is bringing out a driver that I think I suggested not long ago, like a high lofted, shorter shafted driver.
Can't think of a brand that I've seen, but it might be.
Starts with P, rhymes with ding.
Pong? I don't know. I don't remember seeing that, but it might be.
I feel like I've read something in an email that was like, and I remember reading it going, that's like my idea, because I still think, honestly, hand on heart, like a 16-degree driver with like a 3-wood, same size of a driver head, but with a 3-wood shaft, honestly, I think would be game changing for the 20-odd percent, 25%. I'd even go as far as 30% of golfers who cannot hit driver. I honestly think that would be a game changer.
It's definitely food for thought. But moving slightly on to that day I had, can I please explain to you how I have now finally, after playing golf for, 25 years, I found the perfect golf for me. I've found what I love.
Texas Scramble. little corporate day,
so
Texas Scramble.
Let me explain to you about this day. So I said it was down in Kent. It was a long way away. I went down the night before and it was a great day. Played with Neil from here and two guys, Simon and Jack, who work for a golf company called Spanish Hands. And I met some other people. I met the four brothers who make content on
did
YouTube.
You meet those guys?
They were really nice guys. Chatting to a few people. The golf,
I really like them. They're funny.
Yeah, they were really cool. And played the London Golf Club, which was phenomenal. The international course, it was a really nice course. We should actually film there one time. It's a long way away, but phenomenal golf course.
Well, it was at one point in the bidding run for the Ryder Cup.
All right.
At one point.
Well, there's two courses. The international course, which is the one that I played, and that's had World Match Play and Regional Open qualifying. And there's another course, the Heritage, which has actually had, I think, European Tour events. So I think they're both phenomenal.
I played one many years ago, and I just remember a lot of par 3s being over water.
Yeah, that was definitely the one I played. Had that downhill, and it was awesome. It was really good fun. And you're right, it was 4-ball Texas Scramble, so there was absolutely no pressure. It was a very relaxed atmosphere. We had buggies, which you need around there, by the way. The course has definitely been built for buggies. We had a speaker on, so not many times have I played golf with music. A handful. It was phenomenal. Really enjoyed it, and the whole kind of vibe was just so much more like chilled, to the point where if you ask me how did I play, ask me.
How did you play, Guy?
Played well. Hit it really well. Right? Nice. That's how I believe I played, okay? I put 12 golf balls in my bag at the start of the day, right? A brand new dozen, and I'll come on to that as well in a moment. Tried Vice golf balls to see what they were like. Impressed. Put 12 balls in the bag. I think I've lost a few today, actually, because we're in a Texas Scramble, going for shots, blind tee shots, didn't end up finding it. But my mindset was, I played really well. I lost 9 balls, Rick. I lost 9 golf balls and left feeling like I played well.
That's one every other hole.
It's one every other hole because, admittedly, hands up, there was a couple of tee shots, honestly, I smoked them and the line wasn't correct, which I didn't know, so that's fine. A couple I went for it and went in the water, why not? It's Texas Scramble. But what I mean is, if I was playing with a scorecard in my hand, yes, I wouldn't have gone for all those shots, admittedly, but I still would have lost golf balls. Might have lost 3, 4, 5 golf balls, maybe. I lost 9 and came away feeling like I had a great day. And we came, I think, 3rd in the end, although I left before the presentation. Wasn't worried about how I really did. It was just great fun. And it made me think, I said this before, and I'll say it again, golf doesn't just have to be about score. That little bit of fun in the 4-ball and that little bit of camaraderie, it was brilliant.
I must admit, Texas Scramble, or Scramble, or whatever people want to call it.
I can see you wind up. I reckon you're going to slap it in a minute. Do it. That sounded weird.
Who did someone do something again recently, like a sports person, like grabbed one and ate a fly?
You've been having some weird dreams. Did you actually do drugs at this festival? Because there's no way that Ping are in that driver you've mentioned.
They are. They're going to
Miyagi
they're
gets
going to call
chopstick.
it the Pong. And Scramble format. You never finish a Scramble format unhappy.
Never.
Because you've always contributed in some way.
It was so fun.
You've either held a great putt, and you could have played horrendous. Like Neil.
Yeah.
I spoke to him briefly this morning. He obviously brand new to golf. I bet he loved it.
He did.
Because he wasn't trying to count every single shot he had. And I know he hit a wonderful shot into a par 3, which I've heard lots about today. But like, that's his one takeaway. Now, if he'd played 18 hole stroke play and shot buddy 110 and lost 15 balls,
it's a different story, isn't it?
Totally different.
Honestly, I know I'm really stressing the point, but I really did enjoy it. I'm thinking when I play golf now about obviously enjoying it and having fun. I'm also thinking about what can I take away from this? What can I learn? What can I say on the podcast about my day? And it just made me think, again, I grew up as a junior golfer, stroke play, week in, week out. And I don't necessarily look back at that and regret it, because that was how golf is often played. Obviously Stableford as well, but very much about score, white tees, everything's proper, And the more I'm playing golf now in a very friendly way, and certainly when I don't play with you on camera and just playing with friends or whatever, it doesn't matter. It's like, I know it sounds silly, but if you are trying to play a mini driver off a fairway and there's a bit of a better lie, does it really matter if you put on a nicer line, hit it? If you're not keeping score, not taking anyone's money in a competition, enjoy it. I think I'm trying to look at it more like now, when I'm walking, certainly, I'm going to be walking 18 holes, carrying a golf bag, it's great exercise, just have fun. Because I just think putting a score in it does make it so much more pressurised.
Yeah, because you've got something to measure it by, then, haven't you? And it's really interesting. In America, they don't play stroke play that often.
Yeah.
It's often matches or scrambles or whatever it may be. Actually having 18-hole stroke play at just a normal golf club as a members comp is quite rare.
Yeah.
Do you ever remember do you remember the format? Did you ever play it as a club golfer, yellow ball comp?
Yeah. Was this the one where somebody has the yellow ball?
Yes. And it's a really awful format.
Remind me.
So there's 4 golfers in a group. We should actually do it for a video. It'd actually be quite funny. Four golfers in the group, and you get given by the pro shop or whatever a yellow ball with the number of your group on it. Okay, but you have to return that exact same golf ball. And within the 4 of you, you alternate who uses that yellow ball for that hole.
Right.
And the task is your score. When you've got the yellow ball, your score counts. If you lose it, you're out of the competition. If it goes in the water, you're out of the competition and can't find it. If it goes out of bounds into a field, you're out of the competition.
So if I had the yellow ball on hole 3, is it worth you still playing hole 3?
Yeah, we still play because obviously you play golf. But if I have a 2 with my normal white ball and you have a 7, it's the 7 that's going down on the scorecard. It's a brutal format.
So it could literally be done in the first hole.
You could lose off the first tee.
Oh gosh.
And then also you could lose it on the very last tee shot, because when I did open qualifying, I didn't lose a single golf ball to the very last tee shot. Now, if I had the yellow ball at that last tee shot, I'm out.
Oh my days. That does sound fun. More formats is what we need in golf. Not that there needs to be more created, because there's a lot already, but more in comps, more playing them and stuff, because it is very much a normal golf club. I like to hear people's opinions if your golf club is different.
And then there was another format I heard about this a couple of weeks ago. Oh, what was the name of it now? But it was really good. You go as a 4-man team, okay? On the first hole, 1 score counts.
Yeah.
Okay, the best score.
Yeah.
On the second hole,
2
scores count. Third hole, 4, and then you go back round again.
That's quite good.
So like every 4th hole, all your 4 scores count.
And inevitably there'll be one 4th hole where you all play terrible.
Yeah.
And you don't take, yeah. Another thing as well that always makes me laugh with Texas Scramble, whether it be a 2 or a 4, and it's evident even in a 4. The first hole we played was a par 4, a par 5. We were on the green with a really good birdie chance. I went first and missed it. Next person went, missed it. Next person went, missed it. And very quickly, it's like, oh my days, we're now down to the last person. Like, a minute ago, we were thinking this is easy. We've got 4 goes. And very quickly, it's like, we've got one last chance. And luckily, Simon held it. But you still have a little bit of pressure. It's quite good.
The last format I heard of recently, I think it was called Stick and Twist or something, okay? As a best 2 from 4.
Best 2, right.
So you've played as a 4 ball. You have to pick, after you've played the hole, whether you're going to choose the points from that hole. So what I mean by that, I'm not explaining that very well. But first hole, you score 5 points as a team.
Right.
Best 2 from 4.
Okay.
After that hole, you have to determine, is that 5 points going to go on your actual scorecard as one of your 5 scores? Or do you think you're going to do better than 5?
So it's like, okay, literally stick or twist. Wow.
Does that make sense?
Yeah,
now,
I get you.
I'd like to think no one corrupts that, that methodology. But I just thought it was another really fun format where it's like, can somebody get to 30 points by getting, 6 5-pointers for argument's sake?
That is interesting. Can I ask you a question, Rick? This is partly off a listener and partly me as well. So, is it normal? Is this rash normal? Where's the question gone? So bear with me. Okay. It says, first it's from Simon Williams. And his question is, it's on the Facebook group, by the way. If you're not a member of the Facebook group, we have to always say, make sure you join, search on Facebook the Rick Shiels Golf Show podcast and join the group. Simon Williams has said, at what point handicap-wise do you think spending extra money on golf balls or clubs actually makes a difference? So that's the first part. So you answer that correct. At what point should you be looking at spending extra money on? But let's go with balls more than anything, because I think clubs depends on if you've not got a set of clubs and you have to buy clubs. But what point does golf balls should you go from? I'm a late ball guy. I hit what fine to I'm going to invest in a type of golf ball.
That is a really good question. Because is it based on how much time you've been playing golf? Is it based on your score? Is it based on what you want to achieve in your golf? Golf balls plays a huge factor, as you and me know. And I think where golf ball really starts to kick in is when you start to identify different feels of golf balls, I would say. Because, I know certainly a brand new golfer, I could get them to hit 10 different types of golf balls, from the softest feeling one to the hardest feeling one, certainly around chipping and putting. And I reckon they wouldn't really know the difference in feel. It's a bit like, for argument's sake, I know you're not a huge wine drinker, but if you started to drink wine or a coffee drinker.
I'm neither of those, but yeah.
But let's say you started drinking coffee. I could give you the best of the best of the best of the best coffee and the worst coffee.
I wouldn't know the difference.
It tastes the same to you, wouldn't it? Same with wine.
Yeah.
Like when you first start tasting wine, it's like, well, that's just red wine. It all tastes the same. But when you start to taste different flavors from different regions, from different years, you're like, whoa, there's a big variety and a big gap. I would explain that same with golf balls. I think at first, when you first start playing, you can't really tell, can you?
No.
There's no point whatsoever in spending £4 on a Pro V1.
No.
0
It's going to go in the trees.
0 point. But also, I'd be very careful of late balls or balls that might influence your playing ability and might, deviate offline. You want something that's kind of in that middle range where it's cheap golf ball, but it's good quality.
Yeah.
And then once you start to understand the feel of that golf ball, go, well, actually, you know what? I actually found another type of golf ball, one of these £2 golf balls, and going, I like the feel of that a little bit better. Maybe I'll invest in that brand. No, I think it comes with taste and almost being able to feel the difference.
You literally sometimes taste a golf ball, don't you, by biting it?
Yeah.
You're very taste orientated. You like a lemony Pro V1, don't you?
I love one that's been found in a lake that's at least three weeks in the lake.
A little bit salty.
A little bit of seaweed in there.
Yeah.
Yeah,
like that.
Maybe Barry from the group before has had a little tinkle in there. And it's just like,
I'm with you on that. But my question then would be, so again, this is no secret, since being the age of 10 or 11 when the Pro V1 came out, I have always used Pro V1, or always aspired to use Pro V1, I should say. When I was a junior, it wasn't as simple as buying them, obviously. It was a case of I'd find them, I'd keep the best ones for competition days and then whatever. And then obviously I worked for Nike for a spell and used their golf ball, which was decent to be fair. And then since then, always been Pro V1. On Friday, again, when I played golf, I trialled a golf ball I've not really tried before, the Vice. I took a dozen Vice golf balls with the Vice Pro. Thought I've heard a lot of good things about Vice. Let's try the golf ball. And it was good. There's no ifs and buts. And the best compliment...
Well, I've reviewed them in the past.
Yeah, exactly.
I thought they were really
and
good.
Everybody that I've ever seen says they're good. And that was the case. The golf balls were good. And the biggest compliment I can give them is that when I was playing golf, other than the fact I was looking at a different logo, didn't think about it. It felt a bit softer around the green than maybe a Pro V1 does, but there's also, I think there's a Pro Plus and there's other variations, so I couldn't use that as a critique, but it just felt a little bit different, but very quick got used to it. And as I said, the best compliment I can possibly give is it felt fine, didn't think about it. When I'm looking now at like American Golf, which is one of the retailers in obviously UK and Europe that are very big, they have a great selection of products, and you go on, you filter it down to premium golf ball. You look and you've got the Pro V1 at 48 quid, standard. You've got things like your TP5.
Mad that, innit? £48 for 12 golf balls.
It is, I agree. However, when it launched, it was 40 quid. I remember Pro V1s have always been 40 quid. Yeah, Pro V1s were 40 quid back in the year 2000.
They were 40 quid when they first came out?
Yeah.
Wow.
Sure they were. I'll do some research, but I'm positive. You've got things like Titleist AVX. You've got Bridgestone golf balls. Obviously, they get a great rap. You've got Strixon golf balls. And by the way, when I'm saying these brands, I'm thinking of the premium categories. You've got obviously brands that make cheaper. Callaway Chrome Soft, they're now 48 quid a dozen.
TaylorMade TP5.
TaylorMade TP5, TP5X, TaylorMade Bridgestone. These are the main brands against Strixon. Wilson Staff model, they're 45 quid.
That's a tough price point for them, isn't it?
Very tough. And basically, those are the main brands they've got. Anyway, there's multiple brands. And the question I'm going to kind of pose to you, and I don't really know if you have an answer or can there be an answer, is I am an example of somebody this weekend who's played golf with a golf ball that realistically, and I didn't have a simulator to test on, but was as good as a Pro V1. And the good drives that hit went as far as I would normally expect them to hit. It spanned great. And the analogy I always use is if I was going to a golf day next week and on the first tee there was a dozen golf balls as a free gift, what I would want them to be? It's probably going to remain as Pro V1. And, you know, I've used Vice, they were brilliant. TaylorMade TP5, I've used those before briefly. They were great. Bridgestone are great. Like, what do these golf brands have to do, or can they, to change people's perceptions? Maybe it's just me. Maybe I'm insular in this. Maybe more people are willing to try. But like you've just said then, with so many positioned at that £45 price point, Chrome Soft, Wilson, etc., how do these brands change perception?
It's a real long journey that Pro V1 has been on to convince people that they're the best golf ball. And I do think it's changed. And I think you and me are probably in that boat of we're in that generation that we aspired to own Pro V1s.
Yeah.
There's a new generation coming up behind us that's not been the case.
Yeah.
TP5 might be their ball that they aspire to. You know, it might be the fact it's a Callaway. It might be the fact it's Vice. It might, you know, it could be a multitude of different brands. And you've seen that in market share as well.
Yeah,
Pro V1 does not have as much market share anymore as it used to have. But yeah, it is time and it's trust and it's making reliable golf balls for a long time and not changing the brand too much. And I think a lot of brands have now learned that. Like, how long now have TaylorMade TP5 had TP5 in the family? It's been a long time now, isn't it?
Yeah.
Chrome Soft has been in the family line for a long time. I can't think, Z-Star.
Ages, yeah.
And I think they're learning now from Pro V1, the Titleist Pro V1, the success of it, is that you need these golf balls to be in the cycle for a long time to get real traction.
Because you know what's funny is, it's a good point in that, because again, when I used to work for Nike, they were forever changing the name of their premium ball until they landed on the resin, which remained for a number of years until they exited the category of club and ball. But if you think about a lot of golfers who are somewhat casual, you might play a lot one year and you might buy a few boxes of balls, and the next year you might not play very much. You might still have them golf balls left. I know we lose a lot very quickly, but you might do. So not a lot of golfers are in the market for golf balls that often. So if your golf brand is changing every 2 years, it can be very confusing as a consumer to know, what is the premium ball by Strixon now, or what is this? So you just go to a brand that you know, that you kind of trust. But brands like Kirkland have done well, haven't they, as well? They've come out with I think that's a big thing. If you can produce good balls that are cheaper, which again, Vice have done, to be fair. I think with Vice, if you buy them in bulk, you get them cheaper. That's their model. I think people are leaning towards that. If the quality can remain good, but price point drops a bit, you're on to a winner.
Again, that's the direct-to-consumer model as well. They've been able to do that. It is an interesting take. When does a golf ball no longer become yours? If you lost a wedge on a green, okay, you would pretty much expect after you finish that round of golf that the group behind you would bring that wedge to you and you go, oh, that's my wedge. Oh, there you go. I found it on the fourth green. Doesn't happen with golf balls, does it?
Well, also to that club would also go to the clubhouse. You might get it a month later.
Yeah.
And it's still your wedge.
When do golf balls no longer become yours?
Right, let me think now.
Because it's a weird thought, that, isn't it? You've bought that box of golf balls. They're your golf balls, okay? You own them. And then you hit them, you play golf with them, and you'll lose it. If someone finds it, instantly it's their ball.
Right, I've got an example. Okay, let's have this. We're playing not together in the same day, golf day, right? I'm the group behind you.
I like this.
I say to you when I finish, oh, I found a Pro V1 on the third hole. You go, oh, did you? I lost one on the third. Really? Were you playing a Pro V1 number 1 with a line through it? You go, yeah, and I got this one. You go, that's my ball. At that instance, because it's the same day, should I then go, that's your ball back?
I think you should.
Okay, and I agree with that. That's fine. However, if I played a week after you and said, oh, did you enjoy JCB last week? And you go, yeah. And go, I did. Oh, by the way, Rick, best story of the day, I found a Pro V1 on 18. You go, did you? I go, yeah, you go, I lost one on 18. Really? Look at this one I found. And you go, that was my ball. It's been a week now. You're not getting
Still
that
mad.
back. No, you're not. See, that's where we start to disagree. You're not getting it back. It's a week. It's a week later.
This has actually happened to me.
Of course it has.
Twice now. Right, so
Matt, everyone, welcome back to the podcast.
I thought I'm going to have to jump in.
When was your time? How long's the time frame, Matt?
What time frame? What between?
Well, between it not being your property anymore.
The first example I gave was the same day.
So it's still yours?
Yeah. So I was playing at Conway, and the back few holes are pretty tricky, aren't they? Quite narrow. I lost 3 Pro Vs on the last 3 holes.
You don't deserve to have Pro Vs.
No. Well, it is a tight 3 holes if you know Conway.
It is.
And then anyway, we got held up on the 18th tee, got to finish the hole, walking off the green. This guy comes up behind us going, oh, bloody hell, some guy had a shocker on the last 3 holes, found 3 Pro Vs with the initials MN on. I was like, all right, yeah, they're mine. He goes, tough luck, and walked off.
Wow.
And you know what? I was like, do I ask for them back or?
I'm going to counter that. If they were MN that was printed on the side, they're yours.
What about if it literally said property of Guy Charnock?
Well, then it's different.
Yeah, maybe.
If it was written with pen, unlucky son.
And then the second one happened to me the other week. Lost one in the comp and then played the next day in our society. And then the lad I was playing with rocks up onto the putting green, puts his ball down. Belfry Pro V1 with MN written on it.
Wow.
I was like, that's mine. He goes, oh, right, nice. Carried on playing with it.
Did you ever remember the story? I think we did speak about it on the podcast where I can't remember the names, but such a golf player A playing with a certain golf ball had a hole in one on the 4th, okay, and continued to play with that ball and lost it on the 6th. Player 2 comes along, finds the golf ball on the 6th, and gets a hole in one on the 8th. With that hole, with that same golf ball. That ball's had 2 hole-in-ones in the same day by 2 different golfers. Who does the ball belong to?
The person that kept it. If you lose a golf ball on the golf course, you've got 3 minutes. If it's not there, then it becomes a property of the golf gods.
You're on the putting green.
Yeah.
Okay, you've got 3 balls you're putting with.
Yeah.
You put one to a hole over there.
Yeah.
Okay. You put one to a hole somewhere else, and then suddenly you start chatting. You and me start chatting. Okay. Mm-hmm. And lo and behold, someone over there who's also on the putting green. Oh, bloody hell, I've had a Pro V1 here.
Yeah.
Picks it up. Is that their ball?
No. So
is it the distance between player and ball?
It's vibe based. Because I could.
I need some rules on this.
Logically.
I think golf needs some rules.
Okay, so where's the logic
this?
then? I'm walking, so I'm this guy on the putting green. I've lost my ball, someone stole it. I go, right, okay, I'll put it to that hole. It's now not there. Okay, never mind. I'll walk to the first tee. As I'm walking to the first tee, I see your golf bag and go, oh, there's a Cobra LTD in that golf bag. I love that. I've just found it.
But that's different.
Why?
We're talking about golf balls. That's what I mean.
That's just theft.
Golf balls don't have rules.
No.
Clubs do. Clubs, you can't do that.
Well, here's the rule then. If you've got 3 minutes allocation in the rules of golf to find it. If you don't find it, it becomes owned by the golf course. And whoever finds it on the golf course is the new owner. It's a contract you've got to sign up to.
I think if you're declaring it lost on the course after your 3 minutes, it's gone. It's too late. You don't really have a leg to stand on.
If you lose your dog, somebody doesn't then just take it. They bring it back if they find it, don't they?
Yeah, but it's not a 3 minute rule on dogs, is it?
It's still lost. Still a club declared it lost.
So then, is there an asterisk with if a golf ball said property of on it?
Potentially, yeah. Please return to, because that's the other argument you could say that most times you find a golf ball, you don't know who owns it. Might have a little dot on it, but that doesn't mean it. So if it's a property of ship back to this address,
I guess dogs have dog collars on.
Correct. So give your golf ball a dog collar.
But what about if it had like a golf club's logo on it?
That could be
ship it back to the golf club.
I found a golf ball from St Andrews. I think how many they get sent back. Who knows? It's.
I don't know. I was thinking about it the other day. I was like, isn't it a weird format that when you find the golf ball, that now becomes your golf ball. You now own that ball. You didn't buy it.
No.
Similar to a tee peg. Tee pegs are less important.
Still.
Much less important. No one cares about tee pegs. But like, Isn't it mad that?
Yeah, it is. One of similar story, but it's not really. It was kind of not really similar at all. But a memory that always haunts me, and it's a bit jokey, was when I used to work at the golf club many moons ago in the pro shop. I had a pink Titleist bag that I'd had for a long time. It was actually quite cool, and I got a new one. I was buying a new one, or whatever. So I sold it to one of the members, Phil Schofield, a friend of mine, for like 30 quid. Right? I thought, you can have a deal. He's a friend of mine. 30 quid cash. He was a grown up, by the way. He wasn't like a child. He was in his 40s at the time, whatever.
I know. What do you want a pink bag for?
Well, I don't know. Well, he didn't. That's the point. And then about an hour later, he sat in the bar laughing his head off. He told it to another member 50 quid. Oh. So it's sold. So again, where'd you stand with that? Now, in the end, as a joke, he gave me 10. So I got a £10 extra profit, if you like, and he kept a tenner. So he made a pure £10 profit for holding the golf bag for an hour.
He's the middleman.
Well, there you go. But where does that? So he's bought a golf bag in good faith. There's £30 guy. I've now got a pink.
And if, let's say, if it wasn't Phil Schofield, so you said,
yeah, not the Phil Schofield you're thinking of, a different Phil Schofield. I was a young boy. No, let's not go there.
And there was another member. Yeah. Okay. And he wasn't your mate. You didn't know him from Adam. You didn't know him from Phil.
He can be called Rick.
And he said, you go, well, actually, Phil, I'm going to do your deal because you're my mate, 30 quid. But then Rick said, well, I'll give you 50.
Yeah.
And you go, well, I don't know you, Rick. So yeah, you can have it for 50.
Yeah.
But he's entrepreneurial.
Well, but once you own something, it's yours. So if you sold me your old iPhone for 300 quid as a treat, you can have 300 quid. And I sold to Matt for 500 quid. It was my property.
The other point then, what about these late ball divers? It's a multi-million pound business on stolen products.
Well, they buy them off the golf course, don't they? So I think as a golfer, you go into this unwritten contract where you know that any golf balls lost on that property are then the golf club own. However, to your point before, if I drop my iPhone or my driver out my golf bag,
it's not the golf course's property.
Is it? Heck. Even a can of pop on my golf bag, I want that back. If someone finds it, we found a can of Prime on the third tee, that's mine.
I wonder if it's written into small print anywhere in golf clubs.
There we go, another one. If I was walking on the golf course carrying a pie in my golf bag and that pie fell out and you found it and then ate it, I'd be fuming. If you use my Pro V1, fair dues.
What about if it was, you said, you know what, I've looked for this pie for 3 minutes, my pie's lost.
Yeah, but I've still bought that pie this morning. That's the point.
So I'm saying with the golf ball?
Yeah, exactly, but the pie's different.
You declared the pie lost.
I'm not declaring no pie lost. I'll admit the pie's gone, but if somebody else finds the pie, I want my pie.
I might be taking a bite out.
Oh, it's been raining. Oh, God, did you want this soggy pie back? Oh,
but even things of a lesser value than a golf. So a golf ball's worth 4 quid. I can accept losing that and you then using it. But if anything, even if it was a Mars bar.
Do you think, going back to this point, do you think it's all fair and it's all fair?
We all know the golf ball rule, don't we?
But the thing is, you're gonna lose a golf ball, but you're also gonna find a golf ball, aren't you? Realistically,
you lose a Pro V1, you find a top flight. That's the rule.
But that's what happens. Yeah. But like, do you think in your lifetime you've lost more golf balls than you've found?
That's a very good question. So in the recent years, absolutely, and Friday's the example of this, lost more than I've found because I lost 9 in one round of golf. You ain't finding 9 golf balls in one round of golf very often. However, as a junior, at the age of 6 or 7, I was too young to be a member of the golf club, really. So I used to walk around with my parents and look for golf balls.
You were in profit then, weren't you?
Yeah.
Do you think then you have balanced that out yet?
I'd say so. But the problem now is, subtle flex, I only really use premium golf balls, whether that be Pro V1 or the Vice ball in question. So for me to find that quality back is a tough ask. If you're normally using a very mid-range or low-range ball, what you find back is probably equivalent, if not better. So now it's very hard for me to find the golf ball equivalent back. And even then, do I want to find the Pro V1 X? I don't really use Pro V1. I use Pro V1 normal.
Yeah, there's something about finding a Pro because you're like you know it's a Titleist, and you go, oh, please be a black number, please, and it's red number. Oh, it's not for me.
I sometimes did like it though when you'd find like a little TP5. Oh, okay, I'll give that a try. Not trying on those for a while. A little Callaway Chrome Soft.
100% in my bag. I'll have majority of Pro V1s all lined up, dotted with a smiley face on now.
Yeah.
And then just a proper random Callaway triple track that I found and a TP5 that I found. And then anything else I find, I donate. I donate to the boys, or I'll be honest, sometimes I'm a bit of a chucker as well.
Yeah. But someone's going to find it again.
That's what I mean. I found it. I'm like, you know what?
It's not for me.
It's not for me. I'll give it on to someone else.
You found the pie. You see it's the meat and potato. You went steak. Leave it for the next man.
Really interesting.
I'm going to ask you one more question and then we'll carry on this riveting conversation in the Clubhouse episode on Friday. However, the quick question from Ryan Tucker. I don't know if we asked this the other day on the podcast or in real life. This is real life, I must add, but real life. Would you swap your life for Tiger, Rick Shiels?
Yes.
That was firm.
Yeah, I would.
I don't think I would.
Yeah. I mean, I'd maybe delete a few things that he's done if I could, but if I can't, so be it.
What about, let me chat to you about this then. Right, Tiger Woods, you're arguably the best golfer to have ever lived. Definitely the second best.
That's the tough one to swallow.
There's that asterisk.
It is. Tiger must think. Can Tiger honestly sit there and go, I'm the best person that's ever played this game of golf?
Not on major championships now.
Can he?
You've got 15. You'd like to, just to correct you, Tiger, you've got 15 in case you forgot. And you're rich beyond your wildest dreams, okay? The downside to being Tiger Woods is you can't go anywhere, I imagine, without getting stopped and messed about and just the pressures of life, isn't it? Anything you do is in the media, etc. I'm going to say to you, okay, I'll take your Tiger Woods. What if I raise you and Adam Scott? So you've still got a green jacket, wealthy beyond your wildest dreams, good-looking fella.
He has got a private jet too.
Private jet, but he could walk around London and not get stopped once, I imagine.
Probably get chatted up quite a lot.
Probably would. He's still got a lot of the perks.
Oh, God, yeah.
And then you could throw in Justin Rose, similar kind of ilk.
But then it's Tiger. You know, you've lived... Can you almost relive... Like, we have memories of our own life. Will I get memories of his life?
You get memories, but you can't go back.
Will I get to know everything that he's ever done?
Yep.
The good, bad, and the ugly.
What would be the first thing you do if you woke up tomorrow and you're a Tiger? You wake up in bed.
I think everyone knows what everyone would do.
Well, play golf.
Play golf, obviously.
You wake up tomorrow morning, you're Tiger Woods.
The thing is...
But you've got your mind still. I know. That's the better thing.
The first thing is, I feel like I'd be in excruciating pain.
Maybe you would. It's the risk you take. But
I think I would.
So you've got your mind in Tiger's body. It's painful.
So
then again, would you swap then?
I know, that's what I mean. I'm waking up in excruciating pain. Because I'm Tiger, I've now got to go and train for 2 hours. I've got to take probably a load of medicine and stuff that's helping me feel better. And
would you subscribe to yourself if you were a Tiger? So would you go on YouTube and then
leave
subscribe
a comment?
To Rick
Yeah,
Shiels?
Definitely. I'd unfollow everyone on my Instagram and only follow me.
Well, what if Tiger was you? So you've swapped. You've done a Freaky Friday. So Tiger Woods is in his head, is in your body.
Jeez.
He wakes up, he goes to the rain, he goes, this feels weird. I look a bit different. Feel a bit different, look a bit different. But anyway, I'll crack on. Maybe I had one too many last night. Gets to the range. He's like, where's my car? Oh, this old Mercedes thing. Ugh.
With a pop tyre?
Yeah. Gets to a range near to you.
It's not an old Mercedes thing. It's very beautiful Mercedes
but
thing.
to Tiger Woods, it's still nice, actually.
Yeah,
I think it's still
nice.
like your car. You've got that. You'd like your car. Your golf swing, however, that's where it's had to be sick in his mouth. It's like, oh my God, 160 ball speed and I'm flushing it. What's going on?
Oh, that'd be weird, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
But then again, Tiger right now, when he hits a shot, is it how Tiger expects to hit a shot?
Maybe not, but it's a bit more than you, no offense. Still looking at 180 ball speed, so
that's true, actually. I can go and play golf with Charlie. That'd be quite cool.
Yeah.
Do you think I'm pretty confident I could ring up Augusta and just go and get a game of golf?
Yeah.
I've got a private jet.
Yeah. A load of Sunday red clothes.
Ridiculous house in Jupiter. A yacht. Got a yacht.
If you want one, buy one.
He's got a yacht. He's already got a yacht. That's good.
But you've got to use Bridgestone ball. It's off. It's off. Call it off. Anyway, I'll let you think about that, Rick. Shall we sign this one off and jump into a little Clubhouse special for Friday? Last week, just a quick apology to everyone listening and watching. I released the Clubhouse on Thursday. Completely my mistake. I got trigger happy and pressed the wrong thing.
Still debating.
So, Mum's ringing me.
I get to go to the Champions Dinner every year for the rest of my life. I get to play in the Masters for the rest of my life and the Open.
Have a think and let me know the answer on Friday. Would you want to be Tiger Woods or not?
Okay. Thanks, everyone. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. Make sure you like and subscribe. We'll see you very soon for an audio-only episode of The Clubhouse.